For our first project, we're going to click over here where it says Explore. And what you will see is project 1. Now, remember we set up project 1 inside of our desktop, inside of our web dev folder. We have project 1, and that's the project that we're going to be working inside of. All right, so we have project 1, and you have this little button here that says new file. I'm going to click on new file, and I'm going to name this index.html. Okay, so I'm going to say index.html, hit enter, and you're going to see a bunch of code come up here. Sometimes this doesn't show up, but I'm going to show you a few things, a few tricks with Visual Studio Code that enables us to run our code a lot faster. With Visual Studio Code, there's a lot of things that help us code faster. There's a lot of shortcuts. And one of the main shortcuts that we're going to be using whenever we begin a new site, a new project, we're going to hold the shift key and hit the exclamation mark and then hit enter. And once we do that, we get the boilerplate, the HTML boilerplate, or some people like to call it the starter code for HTML. So instead of me having to type all of this code out, I can simply hit the exclamation mark and enter, and this code will appear. The first thing you'll see in the boilerplate is the doc type. And the doc type is the first line in your HTML code, and it tells the browser what version of HTML the page is written on. Right now we are in version 5, so we're in HTML5. The next thing I'm going to look at here is the HTML root. So under doc type, even at doc type, you have an HTML here. Then you also see something right here of HTML, and then a closing HTML. Whenever you see a slash, that's your closing tag. So the opening tag here, the closing tag here. So the HTML tag is at the top element of HTML, and there's usually the head and the body section involved nested inside of the HTML tags. Now, the language here shows EN, which stands for English. So that lets the user also know that we can set our language to a specific language based on who the user is or who is designing the website. The next part of the boilerplate is the head section. And in the head section, there are tags that contain information inside of the head section. We have meta tags here, we have a title, and we also have a link tag. Now this title tag here is whatever you're going to name your website, you're going to put a title in here. And then you have these meta tags. It supports the web pages that are being created. You see here in this section here the viewpoint, the width. So your meta tags enable your websites to cover the width of your screen. But for the most part, once you hit the exclamation mark, you'll have your tags, your starter codes ready to go. And in this case, what we want to do is change the title. And for this one, we're going to just call this your first website. Now, one of the things that I like to tell my people that whenever you're working on a website, you want to have your website side by side with your browser, so you can see in real time the changes that you make within your website. Now I have this button down here where it says go live. If I click on this, I'm able to see, and I'm able to see my tab, and you see right here on the tab it says your first website. That's what we want to see. So whatever's in your title, that's what's going to be on the tab, your first website. Okay, all right. And so now by using the go live button, which is down here, now it says port 5000. A lot of times if I click port 5000 again, it'll go back to the go live button, and I can go back and click go live. So this is just something that if you click it one time, the next time you'll see port 5000. but if you just click it again, it'll go back to go live. All right, and so that's where we want to begin. So now we have our starter code, we have our title, and we are ready to get started on our first website.